picture. Well, I'm just going to talk from here. You can take a look at it. It's got a fair amount of white on it. It's got a falcate dorsal fin, and the top posterior half of the dorsal fin will be white. So these travel in big pods. You can, when you get into them, there'll be maybe several hundred at a time, oftentimes. So it's a white and black dolphin. We have them offshore here. Gebial, it's a pelagic species. If you haven't had to see it, but anyway, they're pretty easily identified. The common northern right-whale dolphin is a. Yeah, we have a picture right here. They're even better. Okay, so here's a picture of the Pacific white-sided dolphin, the Lagonorhynchus. So here's a white on the dorsal fin, put it white on the face and on the belly. Okay. Pretty easy to identify. The northern right whale dolphin has no fin, no dorsal fin. It's black on the dorsal surface, but very white on the belly. And so here's a picture of them swimming, so you can see the white as they jump. So it's a toothed whale with no dorsal fin. That's the only one you're going to have. So that's easy to identify. Fairly slender body shape too. Okay. These also travel in large pods. And while they're supposedly common off of here, I've never had a chance to see one. I'd like to. Okay. Questions?
They have the larger or the smaller dolphin?
They have the smaller. The northern right whale dolphin has a smaller.
Okay. So falcate fin, is that swept back? Is that what that means?
It means it's kind of curved. Yeah, curved as opposed to trained. Okay. Okay, so the phocinids have the boss. Okay, you've got two species of phocinids. One is the Dahl's porpoise, Phocinoides dahli, and then you have the harbor porpoise, which is Phocina phocina. Those skulls are really easily told apart by looking at what?
Oh, the palate.
Looking at the palate, right? So in the Dahl's porpoise, the palatine bones are straight across. So here's the pterygoids. Okay, you see this? And the palatine comes across this straight like that. Okay? In the harbor porpoise, when you look at those, the palatine forms a point right up here, and it gives you that W shape. So if you see a W shape at the end of the palate, you have a harbor porpoise. If you don't see a W shape and you have a phocinid, at least in this class, it's going to be a Dahl's porpoise. Okay? Dahl's porpoise are another pelagic species. Beautiful animals. They're black and white, and the white is a really obvious blaze. I mean, you get a really black body, and then you have this big blaze of white. They like to bow ride, so when you're out in the ocean, they'll suddenly appear out of nowhere, and there may be 2, 3, or 4 of them. They'll come right up and they'll ride the bow wake of your vessel, and sometimes it put on a very nice show, which is very cool. And they're bigger. I can't remember, they're around 6 or so feet, I think. I probably should check that. I think that's about right. As opposed to the harbor porpoise, which is considerably smaller. Both of these porpoises, and you may remember that phocinids have triangular-shaped dorsal fins, as opposed to falcate. Okay, so triangular-shaped dorsal fin, very strikingly black body with a big white side and big white blaze on it, will be the Dahl's porpoise. Harbor porpoise, quite a bit smaller, and again it has roughly a triangular-shaped dorsal fin, more of a grayish color to it, gray to black, and white, but not a big blaze of white. It's not black. It's not white on black. It's more of a gray color in between. Okay, these are really common locally in the Humboldt Bay. You can see them. You can also get them in Trinidad Bay inshore. Okay, offshore, if you run into a porpoise, you're more apt to see the Dahl's porpoise. Okay. Then the last family is the Physeteridae, which is a common name for, what is the common name for that? Sperm whale. How do you identify the skull?
Fuse synthesis.
The fused mandibular symphysis or dentary for quite a long ways of the length of it. So in sperm whale, for example, it's very, very far. We look at pygmy sperm whales, or there's another example of this group, and while it's fused, it's not quite as large as a jaw. But remember that the teeth, if they're present, are only present in the lower jaw, and only the males have teeth in the sperm whale. And the scientific name for the sperm whale is, anybody know it yet?
Nope.
Physeter macrocephalus. What does macrocephalus mean? Big head. Okay, and that's a pretty good feature, right? Mm-hmm. So big head, big blunt head. The blowhole is on the left side and at the front of the head, as opposed to directly on top, right? You may remember that. No dorsal fin, so it's another odontocete without a dorsal fin. But it's got that big squared head. It's not sleek looking like the northern right whale dolphin is. Okay. Questions? So teeth in the lower jaw only. What does the sperm whale eat? Squid. Right. Okay. That's the tour. So now you are all versed in mammalogy.